able to join us tonight for our final talk this summer with our juror from the Around the Block 3 artists from our virtual neighborhood exhibition. I'm Lisa Costello, and I'm the gallery director here at Parkland College, and I'm delighted to be here tonight with our guest, the marvelous Camille Wilson-White. So Parkland is coming back this fall, and the gallery will be opened, and we'll be kicking off the season with our art and design faculty exhibition. And that exhibit is going to open on Monday, August 23rd, and the reception will be on Thursday, September 2nd from 5:30 to 7:30. And I'm really planning on having the, weather permitted, of course, the fire exit opened in the gallery so that we can go outside and be out on the Parkland patio near our waterfall, as well as, being able to mingle with people outside for everyone's safety. And then Chris Birdie is going to be our featured artist for the show. And so he's going to actually be speaking in one of our lecture halls. And that's set up. We're very tech savvy here at Parkland. And it's going to be set up so that you can either attend from home and watch it, or you can come and see it in the space. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing Chris talk about his work. He'll be giving a PowerPoint, and I don't think he's ever done anything that extensive that I've been here at Parkland. So it'll be really nice to hear him speak using a PowerPoint. And so I'll get back to you on that date. Hopefully you've signed up for our website, on our website, to receive our emails and get the latest news about our upcoming events and exhibits. Especially during COVID time, we might have some changes and additions and things like that. I'd like to thank all of the artists in the exhibit for submitting their work to the show, and thank everyone in the community for all of their wonderful support. I don't want to forget to thank the Gallery Advisory Board and Parkland College administration, as well as Donna and Fred Gertz, and the gallery is named after Donna. I also don't want to forget to thank Cindy Smith, who's been our tech guru for the whole time. So we've kind of grown and evolved, and she's terrific. And I also wanted to acknowledge the Illinois Arts Council for the support that we receive through grant funding for public programming such as this. So we're really feel really fortunate that we have such a great arts council in Illinois and how they support us. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce the juror of the exhibition, Camille Wilson-White. I'm looking forward to hearing her speak. Not only as a juror of the exhibition, we have a special treat, but she's also going to hear, we're also going to hear her talk about her arts advocacy through the Local Artist Network, also known as LAN. She sits as the co-chair for this organization, and she's very active in advocacy for the arts. She is also the executive director of the Oak Park Area Arts Center. So I'm so delighted that she was able to jury the show as well, because she's such a busy person. And I'm also really happy that she could be here tonight to talk to us. So welcome, Camille.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It has been an honor to not only jury the show, but to be with you tonight. I wish I could be there in person. I would love to have had the opportunity to see the show in the gallery. I did look at it online. You have a beautiful gallery, and the show is stunning. So it's been an honor on my part. So thank you so much to you, to Parkland College, to Cindy, to Kelly, for making this all possible for me. Thank you very much. So I have some notes that I took the liberty of writing down so I can kind of stay on track with what I want to get through tonight. So let me begin. First of all, as I just said, the show is absolutely spectacular. All of the participating artists have much to celebrate for being a part of this amazing show. There was so much art to see, so much art to appreciate and actually fall in love with. I fell in love with many pieces, I have to tell you. The show is also quite diverse. In selecting the art, I looked for pieces that were full of heart, full of soul, and full of energy, vibrancy. Each piece had a character all of its own. I appreciate getting to know each of you, if only for a little bit of time, through your art. I was awestruck by the talent and skill that went into creating each piece you submitted. I also enjoyed reading your stories. Some of your stories touched my heart. Thank you also for being so honest in speaking to deeply personal, life-changing issues. We have been and continue to be in very troubling times for far too long now. Just when I thought we might begin to relax and maybe breathe a bit easier, bam, we are heading right into another dizzying spiral. I am tired. I know you are tired, but I remain ever hopeful. I continue to wear my mask. In fact, I double mask. I continue to wash my hands all the time. I continue to social distance. We just can't stop. We've got a real problem on our hands, and it's not going away. And I would encourage everyone, please, if you haven't yet, please get the vaccine. It's very easy now. You can just walk into Walgreens or Jewel, and you can just get the vaccine right then and there. So please, it's important. I believe many of you created these works during this stressful past year and a half. How wonderful to be able to have the artistic talent and the chops to create such amazing art. There were pieces that some of you experimented with, new mediums for the very first time. Yupo paper. Someone used a small roller to apply paint. There was an artist who had a piece of sculpture, twined linen that she started in September of 2020. And she wanted each stitch to reflect the loss of a life to the virus. The piece was started when there were 200,000 deaths. She stopped at 144,000 stitches. And the artist who found the small heart-shaped fungus in her backyard, it just appeared. And it appeared when people were starting to put hearts on their windows, on their doors, to thank our essential workers, our healthcare workers. What a small, miraculous find. And then to recreate that in her art. Every piece was indeed tremendous. It was clear to me the art reflected all that was impacting your life. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you on your art and being a part of this show. There was oftentimes, as I was going through jurying the show, and some artists had submitted 3 pieces. And I saw that there was a story going here, but I could only select 1 piece. So I want you to know it was difficult, but 1 piece per artist. But I appreciate everything that you poured into this show. You could feel it. You could feel what was on your heart, what was in your mind, and it poured out onto the paper and into your hands to have you create all of these wonderful pieces. I think it was Anne Cottington's piece that I had spoke about also.
Yeah, that was Anne Cottington's piece. Yeah, beautiful work.
Yeah.
And so I thought I just kind of organized it from some of the things that we did. You don't have to comment on everything, but just the different kinds of categories that we kind of came up with that.
Piece that had almost a 3D feel to it, like I could touch it. I love the playfulness of Barbara England's piece.
Oh, isn't that nice?
It's just beautiful. And some of these pieces I could see in my little home here or in my office at work, or even because, you know, I'm a nana, so I have a little 12-year-old granddaughter, and she has art hanging in her room. And her mom and dad, I've given them pieces of original art since they've been married that they just, you know, they love adding to their growing collection.
Yeah.
I have a younger son also who has become quite the art appreciator. A few years ago, he had an opportunity to go to Miami, and he sent me pictures of him at Art Basel. So I was like, oh,
Wow.
good, Jared. And then I think it was the September before we went into the pandemic. I asked him to join me at Chicago Art Expo on Navy Pier. And he was like, okay. So, you know, he came down, we walked through the entire exhibit. He joined me on Labor Day a couple of years ago to see the Charles White show at the Art Institute. And he was really quite excited because there was a line that day, but I'm a member of the Art Institute, so we just zipped right on in there. You know? But it was just a wonderful show. So that, you know, the wonderful, the sunsets, the colors, you just, how do you create that? And the birds. Yes, I love this raven. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. So
this was interesting. Tony was is a former Parkland student,
okay.
and so to see her work in the show was really wonderful. There are quite a few artists who are alumni from Parkland in the exhibit, and so she's moving up to Chicago actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so you might meet her.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. You know, one of the things that we also do is the Oak Park Area Arts Council. We do have 3 gallery spaces, Lisa.
Oh.
And, one is in Village Hall, very popular space. We have another one in a beautiful gallery out in Forest Park National Bank. And then we have another mini gallery at Oak Park Township Senior Services Building. They serve lunch to seniors every day.
And how lovely.
About 650 people come through for a free lunch. So we have a small gallery in that space also.
I like when you can mix those things, you know, art, and bring it into people's worlds like that.
It's wonderful. And I know that you said Keenan Daly had spoke already. So
he did. He just spoke, and he was terrific. It was great to hear him speak about his work and, you know, kind of his inspiration. You know, and just kind of talk about, you know, mixing kind of these old traditions with newer traditions. It was really wonderful. So if people weren't able to see that, I think it's really worth listening to if you can.
Really interesting to me, the dog, you know, the foo dog. You know, it's just, it's so many, I mean, probably one of the most diverse shows I've seen ever. You know, you have it all of it. So.
Well, Robert's a professor at Eastern Illinois University. He teaches art history. And Allerton is a park that's near here. It's through the University of Illinois, and they have this beautiful park, and they have these traditional food dogs. So to see this being inspired by another local artwork is kind of interesting, and just a wonderful original piece.
Yeah. This was encaustic that I love. I actually have a piece of encaustic. It's not figurative. It's, you know, it's more abstract, that a wonderful artist who lives out this way only works in encaustic. And it has always just amazed me how you are able to, you know, get those layers of the wax and just, you know, beautiful. And this is an exceptional piece. You know, she did a really good job, or he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, this piece. This was one of the pieces. I think there were two other parts to it that
Mhm.
just, yeah, it really, it tore at my heartstrings. And I hope all is well with Rosalind. And I really wish all three of her pieces could have been shown in the show, but this
Yeah.
is it really tells a story. So
And that's really interesting because you're kind of looking at all of this artwork for the first time, like you don't know a lot of these artists. And so to see their work as a series or three of the pieces, that's one of the reasons when we have a show like this and someone's coming in as a juror, they can look at the whole body of work to kind of select. And I think, you did a terrific job doing that because it was really hard to choose just one, and feature, out of, if someone had submitted three or two, to just have that one selected, I think was a challenge. So you did a terrific job at that.
this was a great piece. Former Congressman John Lewis, who passed away, I think just last year,
Yeah.
was in some good trouble, as he used to say all the time, and all that, happened in his life. But, the eyes, the nose, the lips, the jaws, this is an older John Lewis, but they really captured him
Yeah.
really beautifully.
It reminded me a little of a Greek death mask.
Yes.
It's so exacting too.
Mhm, mhm.
And here's the one that you were talking about, Anne Cottington's work.
Yeah.
So yeah, with all the stitches, just amazing.
And I guess that's her holding her piece up.
That is her, yeah.
She had a smaller piece also that I remember seeing in the lineup also. So
Yeah, and she has the studio. I mean, that's her studio space right there. And so she has a lot of her works hanging. So many times she has multiple pieces in larger installations. And in fact, we have one of her pieces. It's a beautiful piece of crows at Parkland College. It was a state-funded piece when we built our new student union. So we're very proud of that work here at Parkland.
it's just mind-boggling that she was able to make all of those stitches. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just tremendous. And this is a little heart fungus that she found in her yard. Sometimes it's just it's kind of magical, miraculous. I think I said earlier that something like this would appear, and just she saw it, and it just spoke to everything that was going on in the world. Like a little miracle there.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Beautiful bowl. I love stoneware. I love ceramics, pottery. I really do. And
Yeah.
that they got on that is, and then that intricate design around the perimeter of the bowl. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and he was using some sort of stamping, and this artist was too. So completely different finished look, but kind of a similar process.
Yeah,
So,
really, really, really beautiful.
this one's lovely. This is another alumni of Parkland, Barute, and we have some of her work in our student collection, our permanent collection here at Parkland College. And she just is such a talented painter. It was really nice to see this come in. I think you mentioned it about the Yupo paper.
Yeah. I always admire people who can create a piece, and you look at it and you were like, how did you do that? How did you do that? And certainly, you see these, the beets and the carrots, and, how did you, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
The colors, the shadings, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Bridge, yeah, acrylic, nice. Oh yeah, these pieces. This deer, it's like, it's coming through in a dream, too.
Yeah, I know, and it's underwater. It's such an interesting kind of, I don't know, it's an interesting mix of things because I think that's a jellyfish as well.
Yeah.
there. So the more I look at this, the more the more I find things. So that one's a really nice one to take some time and look at.
It's an elk. I said
Oh,
deer.
I thought it's an elk. I thought it was a deer.
It does say an elk and marine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good. I'm
Mhm.
glad you caught that.
Yeah, yeah.
And Rashmi.
Elephant, yes, yes. It's very nice. So,
Yeah, just a lot of really interesting work, talking about transitions or moving into something else or, and I thought, or the idea of memories and things like that was really prevalent in the show. I thought, as I was putting the emails together, I started reading all of the statements, and that kind of was something that bubbled to the surface. Vicky Ford also spoke.
oh yes,
That's nice.
that's a very interesting piece. So, look at that. I mean, just amazing.
Yeah,
You know.
a lot of detailed work.
Yes, this I looked and looked and looked at this, and I was just like, oh my goodness. Um, I wish, I think I may have told you this, Lisa, that I had the kind of talent that I could create art, visual art, but I can visualize it, but as I always tell people, it just doesn't transfer out of the brain, down the arm, through the hand, and onto the paper or the pottery. Um, I once took a little there is a pottery studio very close to my house, Terra Incognito. And I took my granddaughter and I several years ago, and we were creating little turkey platters. And she got finished, and I was like, why does your platter look so much better than mine? But but it was fun. We had a great time. This is,
Isn't this a beautiful piece? Yes, right of the time.
yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes. Another encaustic, beautifully done.
Mhm.
Colors, just pop all over the piece. It's beautiful. Pretty little butterfly.
And I think we're coming to your work and what you do. So I'm going to let you talk about that, and I'll get the first one up here, the sculptures.
Okay. Okay. Well, as excuse me, Lisa told you, I am the executive director of the Oak Park Area Arts Council. Um, the Oak Park Area Arts Council serves the Tri-Village area of Oak Park, Forest Park, and River Forest. About 74,000 residents at this time. We haven't received our latest census figures, so I think some of those numbers are going to go up, some are going to go down, because we've had a lot of development in Oak Park over the last, especially, I'd say, 7 or 8 years. Our downtown Oak Park, which is in Lake Street it starts about Oak Park Avenue or Home Avenue and runs to Harlem. There are at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 high-rise developments that have been built over those last 7 or 8 years. So one of the things that I wanted to show you is some of the public art that we have in the Village of Oak Park. One of my responsibilities, because being a partner agency, and that's what I am with the Village of Oak Park, I have a contract with the village. So every year I submit a budget for renewed funding. And to receive that renewed funding, there are certain things that I am obligated to fulfill for the village. One of the things that was added to my list of scope of services about 4 or 5 years ago was public art. So while we had been doing public art, this formally became a part of the Oak Park Area Arts Council. So now not only do we have public art out and about in the community, but also I meet with developers when they are coming in and presenting their proposals for making building a building in the village somewhere, they have to satisfy a requirement to public art. So that's where I come in. So I meet with them, I talk to them, see what they are thinking about doing. Oftentimes they don't know, they just want to get through the process, but we kind of back it up. So let's slow it down and let's look at something that really is going to enhance your building. Also, because the Village of Oak Park wants to build its public art program. And we've been working very hard so the public art program that is free. Public art is available to all people. You don't have to worry about paying any kind of fees or anything like that. And we're working to grow our public art program in the village. So we sit down, we talk about what the building is going to look like and look at their renderings and meet with their architects. And then we go to work. Do you want a mural, a sculpture? How about some artistic elements to your windows or your fence or your garage doors, or, you know, it's endless, the possibilities that they have. And then once they settle on something, I put them on the agenda for one of my Arts Council board meetings. And so the developers and the artists come before the board to present what they are wanting to have on their building or around their building. And then when they finish presenting, they leave the meeting, and then the board discusses everything about what they just saw. And they vote either yes or no. And if it's yes, then they can continue, the developers can continue on to the next stage of what they need to do to gain approval for their building. So some of the things that you see in this picture, and this is kind of just a kind of a gathering of some public art that we have in the village. As a matter of fact, this building that is in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, also in the lower left-hand corner, and on the sign that says for lease, this is a brand new development that was just opened by community builders. This is an affordable housing unit, and it was built for people who want to live in Oak Park and work at Target, Walmart, restaurants, who may not be able to afford $1,800 for a studio in downtown Oak Park. This is affordable rentals. And in satisfying their public art requirement, you see in the upper right-hand corner that giraffe. And the giraffe's name is Peggy. And Peggy was part of a sculpture walk that we did on South Oak Park Avenue, and that building is called the 801. It's located at 801 South Oak Park Avenue. And Peggy was a part of the last sculpture walk that we did in 2018. And Peggy was down in front of an animal hospital, maybe a block or so down the street south from where she is standing. And when we were talking to them about the art, I said, well, you know, there's a lot of sculptures. In fact, we have a show up. You can take a look because this has been going on for like 2 years. And they saw Peggy. Peggy just happened to be a different color in those days. And they really, really liked Peggy. So they said, we want to buy Peggy. So I encouraged them to go out to Geneva and meet the artists and see Peggy. And they did, and they bought Peggy. So
That's
Peggy,
perfect.
on the Van Buren side of the building, there's a street to Peggy's right. That's Van Buren. And they planted all that green space. They're actually on village property, so they had to get special permission to place Peggy on village property. And then they also, yes, they planted a tree. So as the tree grows, well, you can see it now. It's like Peggy is eating the leaves, you know. So it's got some seeding there. The lower right-hand picture is that is going to be a cafe, like coffee that people can get as they're going to work. Also, this building is very close to the CTA Blue Line that runs up the Eisenhower Expressway. So it's easy for people to get to work. There is also an Oak Park Avenue bus that runs north and south if they need to go over to the Green Line, or if they're going to downtown Oak Park, or if they need to transfer and take a bus on into Forest Park or on into River Forest via Madison Street or North Avenue. So it's easily accessible, you know, pretty much anywhere you are going in the village. Oak Park, by the way, is only 4 square miles. This is in one of our 12 business districts. So 12 business districts for 4 square mile village, but it's all good. If you could go back just real quick.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Another picture. The picture on your left with the X on the door, that is a live workspace for an artist.
Terrific.
So, yeah, it's a lovely space. Now that space is renting at a market rate. There is another space. I don't know if you can see the door in front of Peggy down a bit, but that is an affordable live workspace for an artist. So they're really neat units. That is a much smaller unit in the back. The one in the bottom left-hand corner is a larger unit. So they are looking for people to rent those spaces. So if anyone is so inclined, wants to move to Oak Park, we've got some housing ready for you.
That's terrific.
And the units upstairs are studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. I was able to take a tour back in April. They also have a lovely rooftop garden with white kind of sculptural plastic furniture with lights underneath it. And it's for the residents. It is, you know, it's open air. So you can see there's a restaurant right across the street. There's a Avenue Ale House that is about 6 doors down. So there's shops and things on the avenue. I know people are going to enjoy living there. Also,
Yeah, that's really nice that you have affordable housing for emerging artists as well as more established artists. So that's terrific.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the 2 photos that you see at the top left corner, that was from a sculpture walk of 2017 that we did on Harrison Street. Harrison Street is now the Oak Park Arts District. And this piece was purchased by the Park District of Oak Park. As the show was coming down, I got a call from the Park District and they said, Camille, we really like that piece at the corner of Harrison and Harvey. Can you tell us who the artist is? I was like, yeah, that's Jackie Willis. She's from Peoria, Illinois. And they had just finished this building. This building is the Gymnastics Center and Recreation Center. So it's a beautiful building. And they wanted to buy this piece. So make a long story short, they got in touch with Jackie and she sold them the piece and she came up and installed the piece for them. So it's beautiful. It looks absolutely perfect in that spot, which is a busy corner of Lake Street and Humphrey, because we have another new restaurant now that opened a couple of years ago, less than a block away on the corner of Austin and Lake, One Lake Brewing. So another brew house, rooftop garden, rooftop restaurant, rooftop dining upstairs. So yeah, those are just a couple of the many sculptures that we have in the village.
Terrific.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah.
And then the next program that I wanted to tell you about is our Community Mini Mural Project. This program has been running since 2010. What we do is there is a Union Pacific Railroad that runs, well, it starts in the city and it runs all the way out to the western suburbs. But when it gets in Oak Park, the walls are a bit different from other places that you might see. You'll notice that there's kind of this indentation in the concrete wall, and I call them frames. And to me, they look like they need to have art in them. So there was a woman who used to work for the village. In fact, she was the grants coordinator, and she had this bright idea to paint some of these murals. It was part of her, she made it part of her master's thesis. I never read her paper, so I don't know quite how it all fit in, but we approached the village manager at the time. He loved the idea, and we sent the call out, and that was in 2010. So this is 2021, and the murals are still going strong. So every year, the village funds this program. Money goes into my public art budget so that I can have a jury select 20 artists to be commissioned to paint these mini murals. So they can submit up to 3 pieces of art. We only select one, the jury selects one. And once they're selected, they sign a contract with the Village of Oak Park. We send the drawings, the artwork to the village attorney and the village manager. And once they approve it, they do receive an honorarium. They receive half after they sign the contract. They receive the other half after the mural is painted and sealed with a UV protectant sealant, because we want the colors to stay true for the next, hopefully, 20 years.
Yeah.
So the piece that you see in the upper left-hand corner, that is Jonathan Franklin's work. The piece that you see in the middle of the bottom, Still We Rise, is brand new. Both of those pieces are brand new. They just finished their work last week. And that's a Maya Angelou quote there. That's Joe Averino's work. And these pieces, not Jonathan's, but the woman on the bike and the guy with the face next to Still We Rise, are all in one section, because these murals run from Humphrey up South Boulevard all the way out to Harlem. And then we have murals that run on the other side of the railroad tracks that start at North Boulevard and run every now and then all the way out to Harlem. I say every now and then because at one point Union Pacific had planted ivy on a lot of those walls. And the first year we did that, we asked Public Works to take the ivy off. And
that's a chore.
The mural was painted, and they said, Camille, that was such a job. I was like, okay, we won't take any more ivy off. But they are partners, because Public Works helps us out in so many ways. We go out and we select the frame that will be suitable for art. And then we leave a little white X in the bottom right-hand corner of the frame. We draw a map so we know where everything is. We send the map to Public Works. We tell them to look for the white X's, let them know where they are. They go out, they power wash the wall, and they give it a base coat of just white paint. And then the artist comes in and they start painting. So people love it. I am hoping in the not too distant future that we're going to create an art walk out of these murals.
Yeah.
Worked with a guy who did this for our sculpture walks. Instead of printing pamphlets and what have you, paper, and people throw it in the garbage, they leave it on the street when they've done the walk. This is a free app that you can put on your phone. It's called AutoCast, OTOCAST. And when you open AutoCast, you hear a greeting, maybe from me, like when we did the sculpture walk.
Yeah.
And depending on what you want to see, you can look at a map of where everything is. You can tap on the dot for a particular artist or a particular work of art. The artist's photo will come up. You will hear the artist speak to you about what was behind his or her design, and you can take the walk. It also gives the links to other sculpture walks, like the Chicago International exhibit in Chicago, the Skokie sculpture walk. So I think he is all over now. Now, I told a friend in Peoria, and she has him. There's another friend in Quincy who runs the Quincy Art Center, she uses him. So
Yeah, we should get that in Champaign. We have quite a few. We have
yes,
the Public Art League, and then the city of Urbana
yeah,
really has a lot of sculptures as well. So there's sculptures throughout Champaign-Urbana
yes.
and really in the park districts too. That would be really nice to link it all together for art walks. So that's great. I wrote that AutoCast down, the app.
Please do.
Um,
His name is Eric Feinstein. You can find him
Okay.
online and just tell him Camille sent you.
I will.
Can you show that will that little video play?
Yeah, sure. I'll show that, and then I do have a couple of questions for you. Okay, here we go. Let me see. I'm going to try to get this to play.
Okay, so this is North Boulevard.
That really shows how, I mean, those are very large.
Yeah, this is a section that has, the wall is really large. They go from about 8 feet tall to this wall, I think is about 14 feet tall.
Yeah.
My finger there. And then my image this morning, it was so sunny. But we have some that are very, very small that are out near Harlem on South Boulevard. There's like a long row of those very small murals. So I am looking for an artist because I have an idea to create a comic strip,
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
right at the end of the Metro line. It's right at the end of the CTA Green Line. And how fun that would be for people as they're rushing home or going to their apartments or condos to take a few minutes and just read the comic as they go along. So
Yeah.
hopefully.
Now, I have a few questions for you about this. So for our artists out there, a lot of them, are really interested in showing their work. How would they get, are they eligible to
Yes.
Submit their artwork for these?
Yes, they are. We put the applications up, Lisa. They go online in January, 20th January. You do not have to live in the Tri-Village area. We had a guy who came in from San Francisco a few years ago and was commissioned to paint a mural. St. Louis, people come from the western suburbs, people come from Chicago. So no, just look for that application. You can find it on our website, www.oakparkareaartscouncil.org. And there is an S at the end of arts. The village also posted on their website, www.oak-park.us. The one thing that you need to just be mindful of, you must be 18 years old and older. We want professional artists. And also you cannot paint any kind of advertising, or we can't have, it's public art, so we can't have nudity or, nude figures or anything like that. I get calls all the time. Oh, I have a troop of Girl Scouts and they want to do a mural. I said, well, when they're 18, they can apply, but not right now, so yeah.
That's a great opportunity for artists out there. So I'm sure some of our artists who are listening or our students when they graduate would be interested in submitting their work. So I will keep an eye out for that and try to promote it as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Artists do receive a $1,000 honorarium, $500 when you sign the contract, $500 when you finish the mural. So, a little appreciation for your beautiful original art.
Yeah. Now we also teach sculpture. How would someone, an established artist who's making sculpture, maybe get on your list or submit their work for?
Well, now we no longer do a sculpture walk, unfortunately. I'm hoping that is going to return one day, but it was about, the last sculpture walk was in 2018, and that was the 7th one in a row that the village had presented. But we had a couple of trustees, and it was budget time, and you know what happens when you gotta look at every avenue to save money. And they just felt that the sculpture walk was something the village could live without for at that time.
I see.
But
Yeah.
one posted it on their Facebook page, and I was like, please don't let there be any negative comments. There were like close to 38, 40 comments, and they were all positive because the people in that part of town said, thank you so much. We've been waiting for something to come to Southtown. We never get anything here. Another person said, I pick up my kid from school and we take the sculpture walk every single day.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, that's really nice.
I was glad to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have sculptures or you're interested, even when working with developers, I put them in touch with, I keep a list of sculptors, in case they have an interest in having a sculpture be a part of their public art satisfaction. So yes, please send me your information. I would love to have a large list that I can refer people to.
Yeah, and I'll definitely let Kelly, unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. Kelly White, the executive director of 40 North, Champaign County Arts Council. You know her, I know.
Yes,
she unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. She's working on a big festival, the Crystal Lake Arts Festival, which is coming up this Saturday. But I'll also let her know so she can let artists know who are on her listserv that when she sends out activities, certain opportunities too. So terrific. Yeah.
And then we have the Black Lives Matter mural. I'll just talk about that quickly. Last June, with all of the unrest going on all over the world, Oak Park was not exempt from that either. But I had a young community organizer who reached out to me through Facebook and said that they were really interested in doing a Black Lives Matter mural in Oak Park. And we talked, and he said, Camille, if we can make this happen, this will be the first Black Lives mural in the state of Illinois. So I told him, you need to send an email to our village manager. He did. Long story short, she called me that afternoon. She had already got approval from the trustees, the village president. She said, Camille, I want to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. I need you to work with them. I want the Arts Council to coordinate and manage this whole process. And so we did. We found a site that is on Scoville. The high school is immediately south of there. And it butts on either side. There's a Park District sports field. The other side is Oak Park River Forest High School South Athletic Field. So it was perfect. So there were three of them, one an artist who's a student at School of the Art Institute who designed the mural. You can't really see everything here, but the bottom picture you can see. Once we started working on the mural, the team of people who came out, we had 4 young leaders who were part of our Off the Wall program, our summer arts employment program, who were team leaders. And each of them worked with about 5 young artists, budding artists, to get the mural painted. But the cool thing about it is they incorporated the colors of Oak Park River Forest High School. So at the top, you can see kind of the navy and orange, those OPRF colors, go Huskies. But they also incorporated all the colors of the LGBTQ plus flag in there also. That middle picture, that's a drone was flying over and got a shot of the entire mural, Black Lives Matter. But people came from all over. All of the major news stations, 2, 5, 7, and 9 came out and talked to the kids and flew drones and covered the mural. Really quite wonderful. Parents came out, just to show support. It was great. We had a big dedication. And then 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from the village manager, 7 o'clock in the morning. Someone defaced the mural.
Oh,
they covered the mural with some kind of a black tar-like substance and white stuff. They changed it to All Lives Matter is what they did. So she said, Camille, don't worry. Public Works is on the scene. They're getting it all cleaned up. So by the time I got dressed and got over there, reporters came back out again. And they were really on their hands and knees and cleaning the mural up. So it's wonderful because people have come out from the Austin community, and they want to take pictures with it. I've watched people on their bikes. They will bike all around the letters. You know, right now it's become a part of the street, you know. So when it was first brand new, cars didn't even want to drive over it. You know, it was really, really just a lovely, wonderful message. And then to have all of these people participating in this, to also send this message out to the world, how important it is that we show decency and respect to all people. I was very, very, very honored to be a part of the project. So.
Yeah, that must have been really rewarding. So especially to have those young leaders there helping and coordinating it. Yeah.
And, you know, the great thing about it is they went to Sherwin-Williams, and Sherwin-Williams donated all of the tarp, the pans, the brushes, the rollers. They gave them 50% off, or gave us 50% off. We had to use traffic paint, you know, because it has traction in it. But Sherwin-Williams didn't have the colors they wanted, so they mixed their own colors. So you'll see fading into it really is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. So we did good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another program that we run is the Off the Wall program. Off the Wall is a summer arts employment program for 16 to 22-year-old young artists. They work with a master artist who is a professional mosaic artist. And this, you're getting a sneak preview of Parrot Pandemonium that was installed and finished just last week, and will have its ribbon cutting ceremony this Saturday morning at 10:30. So we were approached by the owner of the building immediately to the right, who owns, oh my gosh, just literally at least, I don't know, just along Austin Boulevard, he owns 14 multifamily buildings. And he purchased this building, and he said it was one of the worst buildings in the village. And he has renovated, poured a lot of money into it. I guess there used to be a sign in front of that building. And he said, Camille, do you think you could do a mural or something this summer? I said, well, we're working on another project, but let me see what we can do. So I talked to her master artist. She said, well, let's see what we can do. And, we were able to make this happen. And the apprentices worked on it, and it's just beautiful. You can't really tell, but the parrots, their branch is like mirrored work. There's mirrored work in the leaves, the palm leaves. Their eyes are mirror. Bill called me today to say, Camille, we replanted everything in front of so there's a lot of really pretty, bushy, vibrant color greens that the mural is resting in. So this program has been running this summer will be 16 years. Wow. And it is an employment program for young artists. So they apply to this program. They do receive a salary. It's a summer job. I always say, does it get any better for you guys that you spend 8 weeks in the summer making art and earning a paycheck? You know, you are so lucky. So yeah, those are just a few of our programs and services that we offer.
Now, is Off the Wall funded through the Illinois Arts Council, or where do you get your funding for that from?
We get funding from the Village of Oak Park.
Okay.
So a lot of my funding comes from the from the Village of Oak Park. I also write grants. I just turned in a killer grant to the NEA on Tuesday, and I'm living to tell the tale.
Well, congratulations on getting that turned in. That's a big deal.
But we also got a special project grant from the Illinois Arts Council this year for Off the Wall. So
that's great.
Every little bit helps because these projects, you know, especially if you have a large team of apprentices, the summer of 2018, we installed a mosaic tile mural on the Elmwood side of the WonderWorks Children's Museum on North Avenue in Oak Park. And we hired 18 apprentices. It was a 450 square foot mural, but the master artist also incorporated and taught some of the, little more skilled apprentices how to do bas relief, with the styrofoam and and so there's all these 3D elements, and it's an underwater scene. So you see starfish and turtles. And
beautiful.
all kind of beautiful fish in there. And, to have that artistic element come out is really quite wonderful. Quite wonderful.
Yeah, we have, the reason I asked, we have an Illinois Arts Council grant for our summer youth employment. We've gotten it in the past few years, but that's for high school students, internships, students who are interested in working in museums, galleries, becoming artists and things like that. And that's been a real success for us. And we really enjoy, having those students, and a lot of them have gone on to be really successful and go into museum studies. Yes. Which is really interesting, so we're really happy about that. That's such a great program.
Great opportunities, summer youth employment in the arts program. And I've had quite a number of interns come through my office. I didn't apply last year. I didn't apply this year because I'm still working from home. And when I'm working with an intern, you just,
it might be their first time having a job. Yeah.
So we've had some young artists. I had a young woman a few years ago. Well, it's been longer than a few years ago because she just graduated from University of Notre Dame and is now been accepted at Columbia Law School, but just incredibly bright and sharp. And the Oak Park Area Arts Council is going to start a junior board because I feel strongly in preparing the youth of the world to take our place as we all age and, move on into the sunset. They're ready to assume these positions, being on boards and you start it now when they are in college and, to let them know what the role of the organization in your hometown is and how you can help to carry on that role or bring new things on board, fresh ideas, new ways of looking at things. And that's what they often do. And it's wonderful to have a chance to work with them.
Yeah. Well, I know we're running out of time, but I just wanted to mention, or have you, I don't know if you wanted to mention land and, your background with that. I don't think we talked about that.
Okay. Local Arts Network is a network of executive directors in the state of Illinois. So we meet via Zoom even before pandemic because we are all over. We are northern part of the state, central part of the state, southern part of the state. And we work to strengthen the arts in our community, to broaden the awareness of the arts in our community. Each of us are full-time executive directors. So we feel that we are obligated to help every executive director to have an impact on the arts in his or her community. So we do that through mentoring. We do that through advocacy work. Last year, before the pandemic, we received a call from the state senator in East St. Louis, and they have not been receiving funding from the Illinois Arts Council, hasn't been flowing into that part of the state. East St. Louis is a largely underserved community. It's right across the street from St. Louis that is really just booming. And we went there, we had a town hall meeting. We did about 8 site visits. And then we went back last February, just before we shut down, not knowing that this was going to happen. And we worked with them to make sure you got to have a DUNS number. This is what you need to do. We had a little workshop, mini workshop. You got to have your got to get your SAM registration. And we had someone, the Jackie Joyner Kersey Foundation. We are working with them to become a local arts agency so that they can receive funding that they can re-grant to the community. So they are on their way. And now we have some executive directors in the state who live closer to East St. Louis who have volunteered to say, hey, I can help you with that work, guys.
That's wonderful.
I can hop over, I can do a workshop, I can do this, I can do that. So that's what we're doing. We do have a website that we are still building. I think forgive me, I think it's Illinois Arts Network. You might find us at.
Yeah, I looked it up. I think I just looked up, I think I just Googled, the title. And I think it did come up, but I'm not sure what it is. People can always ask me if those who are listening can always contact me if they can't find it.
We are in the process of developing the website, adding content, so that it also can become a valuable resource for people who may be in other parts of the state and are looking for a resource to help them with applying for grants, or a resource to help them do advocacy work. The Arts Alliance Illinois, I serve on the board of that organization, is the state arts advocacy organization. And so right now, I want you to know there is money that is coming to all the states across the nation. This is money from Washington. It's the American Relief Fund plan, so rescue plan. So go to the artsalliance.org and read all about it. They have a wonderful toolkit that will help you with advocating with your local elected officials, as well as your legislators in Springfield, because it's millions coming to cities, towns, villages, and we need to encourage them so that they understand you need to devote some of this money to the arts. The arts have been impacted in such a huge way this past year. We need some relief. People need money. People need help with, got to pay your rent, got to put food on the table. So please just take a look at that. You'll find everything that you need there, and then have the conversation and let them know that this is something that you want to have a voice in, making sure that arts gets a piece of that money.
Yeah.
It's really important, really important. So just one last thing I just want to leave you with, Lisa, and this is a quote from William Estrada, who's an artist, and I just love it. He said, "I'm looking forward to seeing the day when the arts are embedded in everything we do within our culture."
Amen to that. That's a beautiful quote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.